What's up, guys? So, I want to do this video basically just to say I did it. Here's the thing, I'll tell you the truth, and some people might not like the way I say this, but I'm honestly making a lot of videos, and I know a lot of people aren't going to listen, but after the fact, I could be like, look, I made this video a long time ago, tried to tell y'all, tried to show y'all, but you know how people are, they're very stubborn. It's almost just as like a proof that I tried in some ways type thing. So anyway, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is cool. It's a new technology, but there's definitely some stuff going on with it that a lot of people seem to be overlooking. Um, Basically, all of these, what do they call them, ICOs, initial coin offerings, they they're basically for-profit things, and it's really simple to tell you the truth. It's really just drop a new coin, hype it up, get people to bid up the price. After you're still holding on to like some portion of it, once the price goes up, sell it. You just made a buttload of money. I mean, like, and that's like the general premise. There's a little bit more to it, and there's actually a lot more we can discuss regarding that. Which leads to a lot of understanding of various economic aspects, or I guess just principles and stuff. So let's just draw a very generic chart here. This will be, I think Bitcoin actually did something like that, and then went like that, and then I was like kind of doing something like that. If I'm not mistaken. So let's just write that. Let's just pretend that's Bitcoin. That's the price. That'll be in dollars actually. And that's time, obviously. Didn't actually have to write that. Alright, so man, there's a bunch of things we can discuss here. Bitcoin's actually not a good example of what I'm talking about here with the kind of just dropping a new coin and waiting until the price goes up to sell. It's actually not a good example because I think Bitcoin is something that people are actually really trying to get, turned on. There's other stuff. I remember like one they made crypto kitties or something like that. There's crypto kitties. There was Dogecoin. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them they try to appeal to people in whatever way. And I mean, investors know this in the stock market. Like, I mean, they might not even know what a company's doing, but if they think it's going up because of whatever hype there is around it, they'll buy it. So I mean, it's the same thing with cryptocurrencies. People will come out, hype them up. People will get other people to endorse them, stuff like that. And I hear sirens in the background. It's like 3 in the morning. But yeah, I think it's a big old scam. Anyway, let's just say this is dollars. This is a generic cryptocurrency. That's just the price in dollars, right? Alright, so that premise is a premise by itself, but let's look at a couple economic concepts here. So what happens with whatever this is? The price is going up. Why is the price going up? First of all, there's hype. Okay, that's obvious. Second of all, there's a supply and demand function. And honestly, most of the people that are buying these cryptocurrencies, whatever asset it is, there's going to be a fluctuating price and there's going to be a reason that people are buying it. But like with cryptocurrency, most of them are being bought as an investment vehicle. And so early on, people didn't know what it was, hype started generating. And then people somewhere started realizing, look, this is something we can make money off of. Next thing you know, there was like this huge, like just crazy hype. Like 2017, everybody was just like, oh, crypto, Bitcoin, jump on it. So the price went from literally like 10 cents all the way up to like 20K. And there's a really kind of simple thing I think is important for people to see. So everybody out here is trying to buy low, sell high at any freaking point, right? And the first thing you need to understand is when you sell, somebody else is buying. You know, whenever you buy, somebody else is selling. So somebody sold right here for you to buy. Somebody bought right here for you to sell. If you sold all the way at the tippy tip, somebody bought right before it went down like crazy. That's how the stock market works. I made a video actually that I called the stock market is a Ponzi scheme. I'm saying stock market because Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies are very similar, but at the end of the day, somebody is gonna be the buyer. At the end of the day, I mean, and it's they call it, you know, being the person who's left holding the bag. And I mean, at the end of the day, people are mostly just buying it to sell it to somebody else. And at the total end of the day, somebody's gonna be left holding the bag. It's a term economists use, but some are called the investor cycle. It's kind of what I want to explain right here. So as the hype's generated, people come in and buy. So what they're doing is increasing the demand and lowering the available supply because they're buying and holding on to it. And with that lower supply, increasing demand, it's like obviously the price is going to go up. It's more competition for a lower supply, bids being put in every single day, and that's literally what's being graphed, are the bids for the offers being made for, I guess, however much cryptocurrency. And that's exactly what this chart is. It's graphing the offers being made, actually deals that are actually transacted. So what you have is demand increase with the hype, lowering supply because people are holding on to it. The higher it goes, the more that the demand goes up and supply goes down, it looks more and more like an attractive investment vehicle. You know, most like some people, they're smart. They hear about Bitcoin, they're like, ooh, that sounds like a cool thing. It might blow up. They might have some inside. They might research it hard, so they get in early. Other people, they just see some increasing value and appreciating asset. They say, let me jump in, and they're hoping they get in early. Some people are super dumb, and they buy at 20K then because somebody told them it's going to the moon. So everybody's saying. So, you know, it's different people at different stages, but generally speaking, if and when it starts appreciating, people see it, it increases the demand, it increases that hype, and lowers the supply even more. So you get this like exponential thing going. And at some point, people with brains, they'll sell before it gets, you know, at some point they'll see whatever it might be. The demand could be drying up, slowing down. So they say, let me get out of my position here. They'll sell to somebody, and that somebody, depending on where they're at on this, it could be the 20K people. They could be retards. So it is what it is. That's how the stock market works. It's how, I guess, security trading, or whatever you want to call it, asset trading. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, they're like they're pretty much like stocks. I mean, they call them currencies and stuff. People trade currency as well. It's just an asset, really. And I guess the similarity between stocks and cryptocurrency is the fact that they're both basically being used as investment vehicles to make money off of. So that's the run up. At some point, demand dries up. Like I said, people start to sell. It all slows down. Everybody starts to sell, and that's when you get the roller coaster drop. It bounced. This is Bitcoin. If it was Bitcoin, it bounced like 6K. Bounced a little bit, and it's been just doing something ever since. I think it actually went back up to like 9 or something like that. So yeah, that's something I call the investor cycle. It's like a self-fulfilling thing, you know, and the demand dries up and then it goes poof, and it goes down, and then people at some point they buy it when it's low again, it bounces, and that's the thing you always see. So there's that. This is relevant for a lot of stuff with the demand, increasing demand, lowering supply, and then at some point demand slows down, people start to get out of their positions, and it causes a reversal, and it goes down to a certain point, and people buy it back up because everybody likes to buy low. So you know, early buy low, sell high. And so it's like this. You'll see it everywhere. And a lot of people have different names for this. They'll call it like head and shoulders. They have like these weird shapes. I mean, as long as you're paying attention to what the word is around any given asset and paying attention to what people are really thinking about it, paying attention to the demand for it, and also, the supply, then yeah, you'll probably be pretty well off. What else? So the whole point I was really trying to get to is, the whole point of me recording this video is I want to talk about how a lot of these ICOs are just, these scams basically. They're just, because with an IPO, a certain percentage of the company is offered. So let's just draw a percent. I don't know why I'm drawing it right there, but a certain percentage of the company's stock is offered. With an ICO, it's pretty much the same thing, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, I don't know. Certain people get their hands on it early and then hype it up, and then the price goes up and they sell. You know what I mean? Either way, it's very similar. It's the same thing with stocks. It's the exact same thing. It's like this. I mean, I'm pretty sure like anybody who, like, let's say Jeff Bezos, Amazon, they call him the richest man in the world. And that's a whole other thing too. They say he's the richest man in the world because the stock price is a certain price, a certain level, whatever. But there's no way he can sell all the stock at that price. But he actually has been slowly selling stock off and actually investing into what's it called, Blue Origin. So if he sells slow, he could sell it all at that price. But and honestly, it looks like the price is actually going to continue going up for a while. So maybe that's a bad example to use. But sometimes they try to value people's like net worth at a certain I don't know, certain amount, whatever, because of how much stock they have and the stock's selling at a certain price. But stock price changes all the time, And honestly, if a person has enough of it and they try to sell it all at the same time, that stock price will probably plummet because it's a increase in supply, and people might be like, oh my gosh, it's going down, and everybody else starts selling. Who knows? Cause a panic or something. But I'm just throwing economic principles out here in the middle of all this. So anyway, yeah, a IPO, ICO, even if it's not like just issuing a percentage, is like the people who, all these people later might have not even know this thing's being developed. Developers develop it, and then they might just, buy it for like 10 cents, like I said, and then hype it up. They have their hands on it. The price is going up. Wait till the price gets super high. Sell that super high price. And I mean, if they could do that over and over, I mean, that's like it's basically, it's almost like creating money as a product. Actually, banks do that if you want to get into the details of it. But that's basically what it is, because we consider crypto a type of money, and they're literally creating it, and they have the supply, and they're basically hyping it up, and they're basically selling people, on the idea of the cryptocurrency, whatever it is, and making a gain. And they literally, if they love their cryptocurrency so much, they probably want to sell it. No, but they wait till the price goes up and sells it. Like, I'll tell you the truth, Litecoin is another one, kind of like Bitcoin. Dude waited till it went up to like $300 or something like that, and he had a whole bunch. He sold it all, and he tried to say something like, "Oh, it's because I don't feel like it'd be right if I was holding on to it. I feel like I have some, personal liability issues with that." It's like, no, bro, you sold at 300 because you knew that was a great price. Yeah, and he became a billionaire, or not billionaire, maybe like a multi-millionaire overnight. It's very simple stuff, to be honest. And I mean, I think one reason you don't hear it a lot elsewhere is because a lot of these people don't want to let people know how all this stuff works. But like I said, probably Jeff Bezos knows how the whole IPO situation works, and that's why a lot of companies go public, because they know they can raise a lot of money. And they know it has this type of thing. See, here's the thing: the stock market is like a secondary market. A company can totally be like bombing like trash, and the price could still be going up of its stock. It could be doing great, and the price could be going down. It's a secondary market based on word of mouth, supply and demand, and what people expect. Most of these people, you have to understand the demand. It's mostly people trying to make money. You know, with certain stocks, people might buy it just because they love the company, or maybe it pays dividends or something. It just depends. But that's like I said, you have to understand the demand for whatever asset it is that people are buying that you're looking at. What else? I'm just trying to think. Throw other stuff in there. So yeah, like I said, the main point was to call out the cryptocurrency people who are doing these ICOs and just hyping them up, and next thing you know, they're selling, getting out of their positions at a high price, duping it off onto some dummy, who they convince with their hype, to buy basically. But also they're literally like creating money. They're literally creating money as like a product. And I mean, that's why you see so many of these people trying to create these cryptocurrencies like every 5 minutes. Now, don't tell anybody, no, don't say I told anybody that, because last thing I think we need is any like SEC or like, I don't think there should be too many regulations on this. They'll probably try to say some shit like, it's wrong. Look, if people are, the IPO, stock market, the same thing. They do the same thing. There's all these companies that, there's penny stocks with companies that really ain't doing shit, and they're doing the same thing. Fucking IPO, hype it up. Doesn't even have to be hype. There's fucking some of these people with the penny stocks. They have like these. I don't know what you want to call them. Almost like influencers. They'll say, "Hey, buy this one." Like, you ever seen that dude Kramer on MSNBC? He's like, "Buy, buy, buy." That's literally like a person endorsing a stock, telling people to buy. What that's gonna do is gonna charge up the demand for that freaking stock. That's his whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of that guy. It's the purpose of people like that. There's a lot of people like that who can just drive up the price like that. It's a secondary market. That's what people don't ever tell you. And on that note, some people always try to say is that, like, oh, the stock market, look at the stock prices going up. It means the economy's doing good. No, it doesn't. It means these people are speculating. That's all it means. Like you can look at GDP and revenue of companies and stuff like that if you really want to get a idea of what any company or economy is really doing or how it's doing. The idea that stock market, like a stock price, is really any indicator of the health of a company is really stupid. You can look at Enron. Enron was a company that really had not much going on, but they hyped up the stock very well. Stock price was soaring, and they're about to be found out. That's why everybody sold. There's inside information saying, "Look, we're about to be found out," so everybody sold. That's why Martha Stewart went to jail and stuff like that. So yeah, that company wasn't really kicking ass, but they hyped up the stock pretty well. So price was going up. Stock price. It's the same thing. It's a secondary market, supply and demand. There's really most of the people, if you understand the demand, it is people trying to make money. It's speculators. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, again, the whole thing I was trying to point out is kind of how it's like a scam. Kind of these people are really, literally creating money as an asset, hyping it up. They're holding on to the supply, hyping it up, and waiting until the price goes up, and then getting out of these positions and duping them off on people, and next thing you know, they go back. Most of these go back down to zero. A lot of these penny stocks, they just have this. So like these people, let's just look at a penny stock IPO. Okay, people will all have the stock here. Initial public offering, sell it, or some people will buy it at the beginning, hype it up, it go up here, they get out the positions, it goes right back to zero. These people are left holding the bag. Somebody is. They might try to sell, somebody else buys while it's still going down, hoping it's going to go up, but it still goes down. Somebody's left holding the bag. Basically, it's a Ponzi scheme type thing, but it's been going on for a long time. So if people want to jump on cryptocurrency and try to say, "Oh, it's freaking look, it's a Ponzi scheme," you gotta look at the IPO of all these companies the same way, because a lot of them come into existence and people get semi-rich, and some bunch of dummies left holding the bag. It's funny because that's really how it works. The only way to get rich in the stock market is to sell to a dummy, literally. and that's all it is. It's selling to dummies. I guess I'm kind of like morally opposed to that, and honestly, I just don't even want to jump into stock market. I don't feel like it's a good for me to jump in. Maybe if I saw like an IPO or ICO and I really thought it was promising, I might try to jump in just because I understand it. I mean, it's funny because I actually tried to tell people about this stuff back when the Bitcoin explosion was going. Everybody's like, "Oh, don't try to tell me nothing." Like everybody was hyping up, "It's going to the moon." I'm like, bro, you gotta understand. It's kind of probably not. I mean, people just weren't listening. You had like Warren Buffett trying to warn people it's a bubble. And that's what it means when when they say it's a bubble. But actually, the bubble, that's not even an idea most people understand. A bubble, they try to say is like overvalued. What value does cryptocurrency have? It's not even really being used as a freaking type of money. It's a freaking speculative tool. It's an investment vehicle. It had no real value. They tried to say it did. Oh, it's new technology. Da da da. It still ain't adopted as money, dude. And I know a lot of people, these Bitcoin fanboys. I mean, eventually it'll, something probably will catch on. I heard like Mark Zuckerberg is working on some like Facebook currency. Heard China's doing something similar. I think cryptocurrencies in general will catch on, but I think it's gonna take some type of I don't know, it's kind of like what do you want to call it? It's a infrastructure is kind of being built. It's been being built, and I think eventually something good's gonna come out of that. But yeah, like right now, Bitcoin it's not adopted as money. It's rarely used as money. It is kinda. It can be. People can go accept some Bitcoin, and then if your local grocery store doesn't accept Bitcoin, you can just sell your Bitcoin for dollars, and they'll accept the dollars. So it's already something. And that's the thing. It's like fake value when you look at economics. So you have primary value, which is basically like consumption value. But then if you just create a bunch of these cryptocurrencies that get the prices bid up to some random level, there's no real value in that. It's just like a placeholder value, but it's really it's all a bubble. It's all inflated. Um, it is. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many of these coming out, and they all have these random prices. Did you really create what's the market cap on like Bitcoin? Like 500 million or something? I don't even know. I'm just guessing. Did you really create something that's worth $500 million? Did you really create $500 million worth of value? I don't think so. That's not no, not even close. And you just have all these other ones come out like that similarly. And then so it's a stupid way of accounting. I feel like not necessarily, but especially like with the stock market, some people try to say like I said, the stocks are an indicator of like the health. The stock market is an indicator of the health of the economy, or something like that. It's like no, dude. It's all inflated. It's all speculation. It's supply and demand, and literally like the price could be hovering at some random level, and the trade volume every day could be like some like low level, and it could just be these couple of people that are trading at this price are creating the market right there, creating the price. It's not an indicator of the health of an economy, dude. It's the indicator of what these couple of people are willing to trade that or not cryptocurrency or stock for. You can't tell me their personal speculation decides the health of an economy. Like, no, dude, that's retarded. GDP, revenue, much better. Real value. That's what I'm saying. Real value. That's a whole concept. It's consumption value. There's consumption value. Then there's value to create value. You're like, there's a whole lot to that, but it all starts with primary value, which is consumption value, and then there's steps to get create consumption value, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff like money and stuff, which is just this like random stuff, and there's not really anything. It facilitates transactions, and I guess to some degree it's like something that helps create consumption value eventually. But really, just look at it, just these random things that supposedly have value. Look, the value of anything is what anybody's willing to trade for it. And then And then what people want to trade for it is dependent on how much they really want it personally. Like, I'll go work a job, do some physical labor for some money to buy something. So if I really want that something, I know I need the money, so I'll work to get that money. And so it really comes down to how much I want that thing, And the only reason that money has value is because I'm willing to trade my work for it. You see what I'm saying? And it only has value to me because somebody else is willing to trade what it is that I want for it. And that's a whole nother thing too, how like money becomes this middleman and its value is propped up by that guy willing to trade what he has for it and me willing to trade what I have for it and other people want to trade what they have for it. And that goes into a whole concept. I talked about that on my YouTube channel. I draw like, every type of currency has like a group of people that use it. And there's no such thing as a universal currency, only currencies that certain people, groups of people, adopt and use. Go look it up. It's on my channel somewhere. So yeah, man, I just kind of want to throw some economic principles out there with this whole idea of the cryptocurrency. It's BS, man. I'm telling you, it freaking is. It's just the way these people are doing these ICOs. Like the Dogecoin, that was like a joke, and before you know it, price is going up. It was literally created as a joke. Crypto kitties, you know what I'm saying? Dude, you could look at like random like video games and like they have like currencies on the video games. Is that really worth anything? And look at like the market cap. Like I said, 500 million. Did you really create $500 million of value? No, you didn't. It's a big sham, and it's a Ponzi scheme at the end of the day. Because the only way for you to cash out is to dupe it off on somebody. Even if you even if you take the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, whatever, and buy a car with it, now the dude who sold you the car is holding on to it, and eventually it's gonna go down. Actually, to tell you the truth, every single type of currency that ever has existed is going to do the same thing as this one. It's all going to go back to zero. Every single freaking one. They all have. Every type of fiat currency has gone back down to zero. Actually, I can get so much more with this. That's what governments do. They literally inflate the currency so high, increase the supply, the value, and just spend as they're doing. They create money, spend it, inflate the currency, which means literally inflate the supply, but it also causes the value to go down just because there's an increased supply. And they just spend into oblivion, and then next thing you know, this is back down to zero. And then they say, hey, let's create a new currency. They do the exact same thing, spend to oblivion, dude. And the whole time they're basically people are literally trading like work, labor, resource for these monies that people are creating, and people are being duped out of their lives for it. Like a lot of people right now, they're holding on to the dollar. I think the dollar's heading south. Like it's been heading south for a long time. I think it's about to be like nosedive. And there's people who work literally their whole lives and have been saving dollars, got like 401k or whatever, and that 401k is literally about to be worthless. I'm not gonna say that for sure, but it's definitely a possible thing. You can see it in other countries where their currencies literally nosedive to nothing. People bringing wheelbarrows of money just get like a loaf of bread or something. It's the same thing. It's supply and demand. If the supply increases too much, demand is going to decrease, and it really kind of goes back to this. People don't want to be holding on to a depreciating asset, so they cash out into something else. While the supply, so they cash out. It's kind of the opposite of this. I said when the demand's increasing, they buy, and the available supply decreases. When the demand decreases, they sell. The available supply increases. They basically dump it. Nobody wants it. It goes back to being worthless paper, like it really is. The only reason it's propped up is because they managed to hype it up and get people to adopt it in one way or another. And honestly, like with Bitcoin, if they wanted to, if people wanted to get Bitcoin to be adopted as money, first thing to do is hyping it up and giving it an exchange value with dollars, which already have money in the economy because people want to trade stuff for it. So that happened through speculation, basically. So people agree, oh yeah, Bitcoin has market value, a price of like 500 per Bitcoin or something like that, 5,000, whatever. And because of that, if it's consistent enough, people might actually trade goods and services for Bitcoin directly, and then essentially Bitcoin would be, it can be used as money. And that's something I said earlier. I said, I'll just draw it right now. With any type of money, there's only a group of people that use it. This group, this is Bitcoin. There's only a group of people. This guy has something, and that guy has something. They want what each other have, and they're gonna go through the middleman. And there's other people too. And honestly, there could be another type of currency over here. Other people, those people. So really, there's no such thing as a universal money. There's only like, let's say you had this. I'm just gonna draw a C. I have no idea what that is. Let's say you're over here, and you want something that this guy has, but he only accepts Bitcoin. You gotta trade. I don't know. You gotta do something. You gotta go through this, and then go through there, and go through there. One way or another. There's no such thing as a universal money. Like we can see that with exchange rates in economy or different countries and stuff. If you go to a different country, you have to exchange your money for whatever they use in that country. So there's no such thing as universal money. It's just a group of people agree that something has value. They're willing to trade their stuff for it, and they all somehow, one way or another, agree to trade their stuff for it because they know they can, because somebody else agrees to trade their stuff for it. So you'll feel safe trading your money for Bitcoin because you're pretty sure this guy over here that has what you want will trade the Bitcoin for what he has. So you say, okay, I want what he has, so I'm gonna trade it for this, and I'm gonna trade the Bitcoin for that. And that's just economics. That's trading. Whatever, it just happens. It's like a two-step trade. Whatever. Very simple stuff. Some people probably like, duh. Well, yeah, it is duh. But I'm just showing you like dynamics here. With that being said, man, I don't know what else to really say. I'm showing you a lot of random stuff. Yeah, I made a whole YouTube channel talking about this type of stuff, so you can go check out all the videos. But yeah, I just want to throw all this out there with the cryptocurrency because it seems to be still coming up, and people are trying to do stuff. Like I said, you got Mark Zuckerberg talking about creating a Facebook currency. You got China doing I forget what they're called actually, but they're trying to make it like official in one way or another. So yeah, it's coming, and I think it helps to understand money. Literally every fiat currency it's the same thing. It's gonna plummet down to zero. It's the same thing. They already have happened. Every single one has gone back down to zero. Every single one. They spend it to oblivion. It loses value, just like I said. Every single one. Wheelbarrows of money coming in, worthless. You know what I'm saying? And then they say, oh, let's create another one. And they do the exact same thing over. The whole time they're literally trading you this money. It's the same thing duping. Like I said, even if you traded Bitcoin for a car, the person who traded the freaking car for the Bitcoin is still getting duped just like somebody who would trade money for it because it's like a Ponzi scheme. It's going to go back down to zero eventually. This is economics, dude. I don't want to tell you. It is what it is. I don't know who doesn't. Y'all going to have to figure it out because I think this is going to take way longer than I'm even going to be alive for people to fix this. I'm just throwing out concepts that it seems like people have not really identified, and that's it. Like, what do you want to say? So yeah, I don't know. Actually, no, I'm not gonna get to it. Whatever. Good luck, people, because I really don't have the patience to try to fix all this. But yeah, it's important for people to understand these concepts because I think eventually people will probably come around to creating better systems, economic systems that are more fair, that don't have governments leeching, and there's all types of ways you can exploit the system. And I've tried to tell people, and like I said, they don't really listen very well. So honestly, I'll probably exploit and take advantage of some of those exploitations. But at least I try to tell people. So yeah, I could just see what's really happening today, and it doesn't seem like many people are caring. So I think it's gonna take a while before people start to care. There's probably gonna have to be a lot of pain and suffering, and even then they might not care. Dang, which could be crazy. But either way, I did my job. I figured a lot of this stuff out. Now I'm telling you. So, ooh, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but hopefully it can be applied in a positive way. I don't know. Can Like I said, I only have so much time, so much energy that I'm willing to expend on trying to change the system. You might say. I think I've already reached my limit. This is about the most I'm gonna do is make some YouTube videos and share some ideas. So there you go. Hopefully this was informative, helpful. Hopefully it was applied in a positive way. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm running low on time on my phone, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. And I hope you learned some stuff. Check out my YouTube channel. I made a whole bunch of videos a while back, and this I was just kind of freestyling, just throwing random concepts in there while talking about cryptocurrency. So there you go. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys for listening. Stay woke. I'm out.